Hello and welcome to this week's Firewire Show. In this week's episode, we'll be diving deep into why you should get and pre-order the Canon R10. Do not go anywhere because this is going to give you absolute value. And just briefly, if this gives you value and you want to find out about the best cameras for content creation, subscribe now to this channel for weekly content. So without further ado, let's crack on. Boom! Right, here we go. Let's get straight into the business now. We're going straight over to the Canon R10. Now, there's a great deal in a minute for literally just shy of £1,000, which is, believe it or not, is not a lot of money when it comes to high-performance cameras. This is what it's all about. That is the money. So this Canon EOS, to say it together now, Canon EOS R10 mirrorless camera could be or is the next camera for you. That's something you want to think about. It has the RFS10 lens, 18 and 45mm, which is very similar to the lens that comes with the M50, very similar indeed. It also comes with another lens, which by the look of it, it comes with a 18 to 25mm and a, 18 to 11mm. So that is a very good two lenses there for this sort of price. That's a very good deal. So let's just have a look at the camera then. Let's have a look at it close up. Now you can see it's a very nice shape. It's got a full, very nice sensor, which is brilliant for photos and video, which is both something you want to consider. Let's just look at the top then. That's something that's worth looking at. So you've got the very nice settings there. You've got what I like to use most, the auto setting. I just find it easier for point and shooting in both photography and video, but obviously you do have video mode. You have manual mode, which is very handy if you want to get that precise photo or you want to get the camera into the settings, depending on what you want to use the camera for. So put in comments below what you use your camera for. Just be very interesting to find out. And obviously you have all the different versions, connected TV, you can play with the ISO, the shutter speed, and that's some really cool settings as well. This is very good for live streaming as well. You can plug this in by HDMI cable, which is a very handy tool to use. But for us content creations, a very nice, easy record button there, which is something us content creators really aspire to have. You've got your famous photography button. And what's really cool actually about this camera, it comes with a flash, which is really cool. I know you're probably saying, well, most cameras come with that, but you know, it just flops up even quicker than the previous cameras. And you have lots of settings. Very nice grip. I don't know what you think. It's very nice. It almost looks like a stone effect, which is really nice. So that will hold really nicely in your hand, which is something to bear in mind when buying this camera. And the 18-45mm is a brilliant camera to start with. And obviously being a mirrorless interchangeable lens camera, so I'll say, obviously if you've got an older lens hanging around or you want to upgrade later, that gives you that creativity in photography and video, depending on your situation, what you want it for. So this is a really good deal. Now you can actually get pre-order the R10 with a bag and other essentials that cost a little bit more, another sort of £50, £100 or dollars. So if you want that bag, you know, you just get it all in the same bundle. Go over to Canon now and just check out that awesome deal that's going around. Now obviously underneath you have your tripod connector, which is very handy. Obviously the battery and SD card will pop in there, which is very handy to know. That's sort of standards on a lot of brilliant Canon cameras, but something useful to know. You know, because sometimes, you know, if you get a new camera, sometimes they change it. Because I know on like the M100, M200, for example, the SD card is on a different part of the camera. And as you can see here, you can put in your famous Canon strap, which is really cool. And so you can have it around your neck so you don't drop it. So like me, you're a bit worried about dropping that camera. Because let's face it, we spend a lot of hard-earned money on our camera. We don't want to be dropping it. So it's very handy to connect that little strap, put it around your neck. And that's really cool as well. Let's have a look at the features then. Oh, we recommend a spare battery. You know what? That is a massive recommendation. Actually, someone the other day actually asked me about what sort of cameras they'd recommend. And while I was talking to them about different cameras and whatnot, one of the things I actually did say is make sure you get, this is the power tip now, make sure you get make sure you get a spare battery. It's massively important to get a spare battery, just because when you're out and about, you don't want to begin at, oh, the battery's gone. You do not want that feeling. It's a horrible feeling. So make sure that you have a spare battery. And actually, another little power tip, actually, which is another thing I said to the friend that asked me the same sort of question about what sort of things you need with a camera. I would also recommend, if you don't do this already, is when you're filming or doing photography, just turn your camera off all the time you're not using it. So take that shot, turn off the camera, take that shot, turn off the camera. And it does honestly say, I mean, I've been on quite a few day trips, and you know, I've gone out for the day, doing a bit of photography, and what's really cool is just by doing that little technique, the battery just seems to last the whole time I'm out. So by the time the battery is getting a bit low, it doesn't matter because the day is done. But obviously, just for safety, make sure you've got that spare battery. That's just something, I know I keep going on about it, but that's something I would highly recommend. Sorry if it's wobbling. Right, so let's see what else this Canon R10 can do. Have a little read there. So it's great in all weathers. We have heard that it's fantastic with photography, which is really good. So if you're doing pictures of family, or you're a keen photographer, or you want to go for something separate from your phone, you want to go up from the next level, you want something that's perhaps something even better than, say, something like the M50, then the R10 is the camera that you definitely want to check out. Sensitivity on the lens is absolutely incredible. The benefits then of this camera, so you can change the lenses. It has a microphone jack if you're a content creator. That's something that's very important. And obviously interchangeable lenses, easy settings. And what I like about this camera, flip screen as well, for people like ourselves, where we tend to film ourselves 95% of the time. So that's very handy. Let's just see if I can show you a picture of that. Come on, Canon, help us out here. Help us out here, Canon. There we go, look. So you've got a really nice flip screen, and it's a touch screen, and you can play with all the settings. If you've used a Canon camera before recently, you'll know that the user-friendly menu is really, really intuitive and really easy to use. And obviously that flips all the way around and all that sort of jazz. To pop off the lens, you tend to just have a little button just there. You just see it there, just under the logo. You'll tend to press that, and the lens will pop off quite easily. And you can... Actually, this is a little cool feature that my M50 doesn't have. I didn't even know this had this. So you can change the focus to auto or manual from a click of a button. That's really handy, and a little switch there as well. So that's a cool little feature, actually, especially if you're, I would say it's probably really useful when you're doing photography. So if you want to get that really nice shot and you just want to do it quickly, you can do the auto. Or if you want to play around with settings again, that's just a cool little feature. I like that feature. Well done, Canon. That's really cool. So what comes with the camera? So you've got your Canon strap with the R10 logo on there. You've got two lenses, which was easy, more than you'll need to begin with, unless you like get really into photography and you want to upgrade your lens, but you can do that down the road. Comes with a battery, but I definitely recommend a spare one, and the battery charger, which is really handy. And obviously, most importantly, it comes with the camera itself. So when you open the box, hopefully your camera will be there. Only joking, it will be there. It's a joke. Okay, so why do we love this camera? So we got the body, the adapter, the R10 is amazing, the lens, the sensor is very good, quite nice in low light, so if you're doing a bit of low light photography, and for those and I'm going to be brutally honest, all these awesome features will be more or less important depending on what you want to use this camera for. So if I personally, if as creators you want to look at 4K, future-proof your video, that sort of jazz, I still use HD a lot of the time, but obviously most of you will probably want to use 4K. Just bear in mind with the battery. It does have Wi-Fi capability, so that's quite handy if you just want to flip your photos on your computer or tablet or laptop. Very handy for editing. That's really cool. It's a 24.2 megapixel camera sensor lens, which is really nice, and that's more than most people will notice. Even if you're doing a massive A1 size poster, it will be brilliant quality. So that's something to bear in mind. You can take obviously hours of photo, and something I'd recommend actually is definitely get yourself an extreme SD card. I personally are quite happy with a 32 gig, but I know some of you out there will probably go right up to 128 or whatever, and that's no problem whatsoever. Definitely get yourself a couple of them, especially if you're a photographer and you're taking loads of pictures and all this sort of jazz. It's just handy to have an extra SD card, isn't it? Now, something that was pointed out by one of our core viewers, and they want to see what the actual photos look like. You know, it's okay talking about his camera and say, go on, there you go, Dave. You've told us about this camera, and then what is the quality like? This is what it looks like. So these are just some photos from Canon, and this basically just shows you the sort of quality you could expect when taking photos with your camera. That's actually making me quite hungry. So it is quite nice. So look in low light here. So here we go. Look, that just shows you exactly what they've done with the ISO and whatnot. That's quite cool, actually. And this is actually taken with the R10. I can't tell you where that is. I know it doesn't really matter, but it's obviously a city somewhere. Apologise if I should know. There you go. Doing a bit of dancing. So as you can see here, the photo quality of the R10 is absolutely brilliant. It takes really good. And being brutally honest, down to your skill. But what's really cool about these cameras now, I personally love autofocus, just because the technology that these cameras have and the sensors and everything, it makes it so easy to take a professional looking picture with absolute ease. And this is, I'm not really a massive dog person, but how cute is that photo? And here you go, there's some brilliant views. You get some nice depth of field there, which is really nice. The quality is brilliant. Just had a little jazz for you. That looks like some weird insect, but I think it's a plant. So as you can see, it just really nice colour contrasts, which is really nice. And I think that's all the photos. That's really cool. So you just get a rough idea. One of two. Is there more? Have I missed? No. So as you just see there, you get to see what it looks like. And obviously the video quality will be down to your personal skill. But again, if you put it into auto, it will take absolutely brilliant video. And I just recommend, if you're filming indoors like I'm using at the minute, get yourself a nice little floodlight. They don't cost the earth. You can get one for 40 or 50 pounds or dollars. Just lightens up the room nicely, gives that nice natural skin colour, which the lens of the camera will really like we're doing now. And just to give you a feel of what this will look like, it will look sort of like this. So if you can imagine, you've got your floodlight going on you now, and it would look sort of similar to this, because this is the HD camera. And if you imagine, you know, you've got your camera and you're taking your video, and you can sort of go like this, and you can get that nice little focus. And what's really cool about this camera, actually, you can actually make it so it autofocuses on your face, or you can set up the settings so it autofocuses on a certain object. So if you're doing project reviews or stuff like that, or you want to get that really nice depth of field, you can do all these things with this camera. So that's really cool to see. If you're getting value so far from this video, don't forget to hit subscribe and like this video if you're getting absolute value. If you want to check out lots of don't go anywhere, because I've got some more value yet, but after this video, if you want to check out the other cameras that I recommend from Canon and whatnot, check them out in our affiliate links below. We will get a mini little penny drop. But if you want to check out other cameras we recommend, we do have links to that. And we also have merch, which is here and here. And I need a glass of water because I'm getting value for myself. Cheers, absolute value. So go and check out our merch. Link is in the description. Absolute value. So the Canon R10 is definitely a camera worth looking at. Here are just some lenses then that you might be interested in. So we've got the 18 to 150mm, which gives a very nice, I would say, this is more for content creators in a way, because, well, actually more for photographers, actually, because you get this really nice, you know, range of, depending on what type of photo you want. That's very good, actually. That 1.8 50mm, that will give a really nice shot on low light. That would take some really nice photos, and that's something to check out. That 15mm, 60mm, sorry, would be really good for sort of nice wide angle shots. That's really cool. And all these cost a few hundred, but honestly, the quality of the video and photo you get from these is brilliant. 24 to 105, that's, I personally would say that's for quite a specific sort of photo that you're going for, getting that nice sort of shot on an object and that sort of thing. 35mm, I would say, is a nice photography camera. I would say that's a nice lens to use for certain types of photos. And oh, hang on, there's actually some more here. Oh wow, so we've got 600mm, so if you want to get that bird that's miles away, that would be really good. I've got a 300mm, and that's pretty good, to be fair, from Canon. But 600mm, blimey now, that'd be and you can see the prices there. That'd be a really good lens if you want to take pictures of wildlife, I would say. 85mm, that would be quite handy as well. 100 to 400mm, that'd be something. You don't want to spend quite as much as the 600mm, but you want to get some nice zoom in shots on wildlife or plants or whatever. And then the 800mm and 24 to 240. That's quite a nice all-rounder for either photo or video. So that's quite a nice lens as well, personally. There's quite a few here. 24. Get the idea. 100mm, 70 to 200. So these are all down to Pacific views. You can have a look yourself. But I personally, if I was buying this for video, bear in mind it already comes with 2 very good lenses, so I wouldn't rush to do it. But if I didn't have a lens with the camera, if I wanted to save a bit of money, just buy the camera and then perhaps just buy a lens down the road, I'd probably end up with something like maybe the 18 to be honest, I would probably get something like, actually, I'd probably just get something like the 16mm, because that would give a nice wide shot. So that'd be really good. So it didn't look like I was, too close to the camera, and it doesn't cost too much as well. So that's good value for money, and that would give a nice shot, a nice depth of field as well, and that would just give a nice shot. So I didn't look too close to the lens, but it made me look further enough away, so you had a bit of background. It just looked more professional. So I'd probably go with something like that if it didn't already come with a lens. But this deal that we're talking about today does come with 2 lenses, so that's really cool and noticeable. So a little gadget and get, like I said earlier, definitely get yourself a spare battery. I would highly recommend that. Doesn't have to be Canon 1, get Canon 1 or whichever. Definitely get yourself an extreme SD card. As I said, there's 128, that's sort of the standard at the minute, but if you want to save yourself a bit of money, you can always get like a 64 or 32. Personally, honestly, I genuinely mean this, I have a 32 SD card and it's more than what I need. You can get yourself a little external microphone. This doesn't get all the stars. I'm not going to recommend this one, but I would definitely pop onto Amazon and just see what's about. Get yourself a nice, decent external microphone. Really good, especially for content creators. Get a flash if you want, but bear in mind if you're going to get floodlight stuff later on. And also if you want to get yourself a little controller. And there's lots of little. I personally would just say it just depends on what you want to use it for. You've got a lot of different filters and different sort of cables and all this sort of jazz. Spare battery, chargers, all this sort of jazz. I would recommend just browsing through. Actually, that's quite a cool little feature you might want to look at. You can get an adapter, you can get the Canon 1 or something else. And I would definitely recommend that if you've got an older lens or a bigger lens that's from an older camera. That's a good little feature to have, so you can attach an adapter onto that and do that. So that's something to bear in mind. Just briefly, there's other cameras floating about, obviously a little bit more. You've got the RP, the R, which is the camera I've talked about briefly, the R6 and the i5, but I would say the R6 and R5 are much more professional cameras if you're making a lot of money from this personally, or if you just got so much money that money's no object. So yeah, you do get a 2-year manufacturer's guarantee if you buy this from Canon or from Amazon or wherever shop you buy it from, free delivery and all that jazz. So this deal then today is absolutely brilliant. So for just under £1,000, you get the Canon R10, which is the next camera you want to check out. If you've got value from today's video, I just want to say thank you so much for watching. Hope you got value. If you've got any questions on the R10 or any of the cameras I talk about, please put in the comments below, or just put in the comments below what you want to use your camera for. It'll be very interesting to find out, and that sort of helps me as well sort of decide what cameras to talk about. Also, feel free, please subscribe and like the channel, and we're going to have 2 end cards at the end of the video that will give you even more value. So for the last time, I'm Dave from TVR Creators, and I make weekly content on the best cameras for creators, and I just want to give you absolute value. Thank you so much for watching, and you know what, don't forget to check out our merch. If you would like to help our brand and support the channel, why not check out our merch? We've got t-shirts, we've got mugs, and from time to time we add to the list. So go check it out, link in the description. And also if you want to support the channel, like and subscribe this video.